Hey, what is going on, good people? And welcome back to finding out who killed Kazuma. So we're upside down. Let's try and get flipped back up again. This is ridiculous. What? Ah, damn. That's happened a few times now. We end the episode just before a fade out. How could you do it? What, she just chucked me and picked me up again immediately? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you do find yourself in the most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yeah, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see. What do you make of that? Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude, and then I eat trifle, and more often than not, I'm right. Ha! I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The what? The inimitable Herlock Sholmes! So it's really you, the actual Herlock Sholmes? Way to avoid copyright, lads. I like your style. The very same, the inimitable, actual Herlock Sholmes. Do you know this man, Susato? The most famous detective in the world? Of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. What planet have I been living on then? We must ask him what he's deduced. No, I don't trust this wacky asshole's knowledge. He would have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Yeah, and he's probably framed me and made up evidence to prove it. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? And where did the Russia man go? Right, I don't think we got to examine the horn last time. No, it's nothing! Right then. What if we want to move? I'm in handcuffs and under house arrest by the crew, not to mention her constant glares, and now the great detective has deduced that I'm some kind of Russian revolutionary. My chances of getting out of this cabin are slim at best. At least for the time being, anyway. Perhaps I should see what the detective has to say for himself now. Fine. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Ah, I see. You're German. Herlock, was it? No, I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please, call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Rants magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Ah, yes, here it is. The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. So, you're the protagonist in the series of short stories, then? Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own short stories, you've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer? Do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Isn't that a guy who died last episode? Dr. Wilson? Wilson! I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Yeah, why, at this very moment I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, is to me a science, logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture, fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin, all these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. Yeah, we gotta get good at that for the courtroom, damn it. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can he look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction and fame. That is what makes me the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Okay, all that's just to hear him brag. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything, my dear fellow? Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now. Me! Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. Great. What an assful. When I became anxious about Kazuma this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. I bet he didn't help at all. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Herlock Sholmes was on board. And the handcuffs seemed to be an excellent fit. Ah! The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh, really? Two facts, you say? Whoa, okay. Right, let's do the last one first. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma? Ah, yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. What's that? Yeah, a teapot, right? We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. Throw him upside down immediately. London diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. Ah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic, and something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. What? Does she respect him too much? Hey, aren't you going to throw the detective for one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry. What on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Hey, that might get added to the court diary. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado, nado nado. Don't know what that is. I trust you're suitably impressed. Ha! But this diary is littered of complicated-looking characters of which I can read precisely none. So what was all that showing off about before then?
If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm much obliged, my dear madam.
The final entry here, hey, she gets to read it, consists of 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound.
A whistling sound? Maybe that was coming through the horn.
Or next door.
These are very deep waters. Pray go on.
The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m.
What was it before? 1:23. Okay.
What looked like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
Oh, yeah, the snake.
I vaguely remember that in the opening cutscene.
A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? Why are you talking pissing riddles?
I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before.
The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring... Okay. To the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yeah, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary. Yeah, nice.
Ding ding ding.
2 facts.
Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please, what 2 facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning?
Ah, yes. But first, let us be precise. The 2 facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yeah, I understand, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The 2 facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question.
So the snake did it and then pissed off.
Number 2, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with the acquaintance.
Ah, because the writing is in Russian, of course.
Hold on, what makes you think he was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor.
Ah, we'll have to talk to the boat boy if he's Russian.
Tuppy Bob, that is the Russian word for wardrobe.
No, he framed us of his dying movements. Do you really think Kazuma could have left a dying message in Russian?
Yep. Well, it could have just been who killed him, because then that would just point everything towards me. So yeah, he could be getting framed. In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian.
Kazuma was Russian, was he?
Initially, I considered Garderob may be the name of the killer, a certain Robert Gard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look in the wardrobe there at least.
Where you found him sleeping soundly.
Quite so, I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer.
Why is it that I'm Russian too?
I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people.
Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea.
And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyse it for possible hidden details. Hey, more evidence.
Top here, Bob. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed.
Yeah, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up.
This is the first time I've actually seen him like this.
Damn.
Are you alright?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Right, we'll worry about examining evidence later. Let's just try and push through a bit. Because, yeah, if you saw the first part, not the first episode, but like the first case, yeah, the courtroom stretches out a bit. So let's try and chop through this stuff quicker than usual. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all of that. Ah, yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Okay, Kohyo! Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian. All I know is Kagdila, which is how are you, I believe, and then da and yet, which is yes and no. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean. Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 parts. Ah, yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads, damn. Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. No idea what flees is. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma a Russian?
It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma wrote on the floor.
It was a simple act of reasoning to realise that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who had killed the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you!
No. How could it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face.
Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionise your appearance as well.
Oh, please.
And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Why is this pose always like, take that, sucker? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. Yeah, probably not meant to admit that, right?
What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower?
Ah, yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary was included. There can be no mistake.
Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews of newspaper reporters, I wonder?
What about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. He is recently returned after a period of subversive activities in the war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway, this Afghanistan place? Get a map, sucker. Here, take the paper for yourself as a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you. I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. Hey, one man's junk is another man's treasure. The court record's bumping up hella now. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. Ah, while we're here, let's just do that, because we'll probably forget. Article on the back page. This one? This is interesting.
Have you found something relevant?
Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting.
I can't read a single word, I'm afraid.
Nah, nor can I. But look at this picture.
Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you?
I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. Ah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. I don't know if we should trust this guy fully.
Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented, young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? That's not me saying that. That was an actual line of text from one of the characters, just in case someone's randomly looking away. Russian's randomly been one of the few languages where I see names from other cultures or languages where I'm like, okay, I can kind of get down with that sort of Russian or Eastern European flex. It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Hey, shout outs to Escape from Tarkov. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money. Her eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of the Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yeah, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both her and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain. Come on, I just wanted to read the back of the bloody paper. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? Defection. Just like MGS3, damn it! It does seem to be the Russian thing to do! I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. Hey, okay. Good shout, mate. Now, just in case... Yeah, no others. Sweet shout out. And then, yeah, we can examine next time. On the back... Cast your eye over it sometime. Yeah, whatever. We did that already. Blah, it's in Russian. It's fine. Hey, nice. Ah, mini fade out. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least. Ah, do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to? Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate, hence the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? Yeah, we've looked at everything in here. No, that would be somewhat complicated. What, but why? A simple glance at your wrists should reveal the answer. Ah yes, that old chestnut. Ah, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter, no? There's no point in trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. Let's see. I wouldn't have said you with the face of a criminal, you know. Not really. So what, were you just looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being plain rude. Right, I think we've done everything we can in this room, so we must be transitioning into some next gimmick.
And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humour's as twisted as his name.
What are you just standing there for? We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well.
Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can... Hey! Did she break them?
After Kazuma spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate?
As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. Right, guys, I think we're going to leave it there for today. It's nearly the half-hour mark, but just because that's 3 episodes where we're upside down, let's keep the streak alive. So we'll grab a little save, and then, yeah, if you've missed anything, catch up, and you'll see some floating video boxes popping up any second now if you want some other, more different action. And as always, I hope you're well, thanks for watching, and see you again next time.